Once again, What It Takes Radio. We are here to help you reach your audience. And we are now on the air with one of our new radio productions. And today, something very relevant. Yes, the election is over. Stop gloating, stop grieving, and get to work. And remember that this election, yes, right, this election, 2024, is now being called the podcast election. Now, what does that mean for you and for me? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan. Welcome back. And during this week, we are doing some reflections on the world as it is, and we're trying to be what I call Issachar people. That is from the ancient Hebrew scriptures. When King David was trying to put together his team of people who would help him know what to do as a leader of the people of Israel, the ancient people of the Judaic tradition. No, they were not necessarily thought of that way yet, but out of the Israeli tradition, who of course emerged into our modern day people that we call Jews. And they've been around. In fact, there probably isn't any tribe of people in existence that comes even close to the survival of the tribe of Judah, of Israel. They've been around a long time. One that might come close might be the Persian tribe, which is the people of Iran, but there is no resemblance to the ancient Persians in terms of the modern day Iranians. But that could be argued depending on your point of view. So, in effect, what we're trying to do, David said that he had this group of people called the Issachar, people of Issachar, men and women of Issachar. And there was a certain tribe within, or kind of a clan within the bigger tribe. And he said, here, I love this. They understood the times and knew what to do. And so oftentimes one of the words I use is be an Issachar. Seek to understand the times, know what to be. Yeah, what do you want to be? Know what to say, express yourself, and then know what to do. Issachar, Issachar, Issachar. That's a prayer for wisdom. And as one person pointed out, and we'll talk about it later, said, if you need money, don't ask God for money because he doesn't have any to give you. There is no money in heaven. However, if you need money, ask God for wisdom. And then that you can have. And perhaps that will help you figure out how to get more money, if that's what you need. And the prime rule is do something of value for others. If you do something of value for others, and the better you do it, the more you help them, serve them, be good to them, there's a better chance that money will come to you. So there's where we are at. Now, I have one of my favorite, my friend Bob Bosbell, who is the leader of True West magazine. I've been working with him on podcasting, and I said, I want you to help me because I'm starting another new company. And of course, my wife says, oh, no, here we go again, another organization. And it is my wonderful belief that I would love, based on my years of experience in cowboy country, Arizona, and the work I want to do with radio is to help people all around the cowboy Western tradition, the dude ranches, the Western hospitality, all that goes into that Western way of life, and particularly all of the stories that come out of that. And so we've established what is called the Cowboy Spirit Radio Network, the Cowboy Spirit Radio Network. And we're seeking to help men and women who write and perform the Western cowboy way. And there are thousands and millions of them all over the world. Yes, everybody wants to be a cowboy. No, not everybody, but a lot of people do. Millions of people do. And they're all over the world. The cowboy way of life. And so we want to help those who have a desire to do that kind of teaching and singing and performing and storytelling to be able to get on the radio. And that's the Cowboy Spirit Radio Network. And maybe you'd like to find out more about that. Well, so if that's the case, reach out to me. StanHouston@gmail.com. StanHouston@gmail.com. We already have about 4 or 5 different podcasts. About 3 or 4 of them are going. We got about 4 or 5 coming on. We're also going to be doing something within that on, this will be the, next year will be the 100th anniversary of the famous Route 66, which was one of the routes to the West in America. Route 66, great television program many years ago. And we're going to have programs about the tradition and the legends of Route 66. Aren't I lucky? I get to do all these fun things and sometimes even make a little money doing it. However, here's the issue for today. I said, of course, no grieving, no gloating, getting on with it. However, let's learn. An article which I just also read, which was called The Twilight of the Elites. And of course, that article was a rather strong article, which would say, a lot of people who are rich and powerful and famous, they forget that most of us don't care about the things that they care about. And what's the biggest concern of most everyday people? They said, well, how can I pay the rent? Where can I get groceries? I can't afford the price of gas. Oh my gosh, look at the rate of interest. I can't buy a house. And when you try and get them all involved in all kinds of what they call luxury beliefs, and by the way, if you've got lots of money and you don't have to worry about rent and things like that, well, you can believe and do a lot of things that us ordinary people can't do. So, okay, fine. But he said, in effect, what is true is that things have changed and they probably didn't understand that. But here's what he also said, and I found this rather interesting, is he said, okay, here we go. 2008, that's when, 2008, who won the election then? That was Barack Obama. 2008 was the Facebook election. 2016, which was Donald Trump's first win 8 years ago, was the Twitter election. And here's what they're saying. 2024 is the podcast election. Oh, I love being right, but usually my timing is wrong. I've been into podcasting for a number of years. I was doing this. I was one of the first to ever do a podcast. And it was nothing more than a hobby, just because I like to do it. And I'd been a broadcaster for many years. And I could make a living being on the radio a little bit, and I could do I did a lot of radio promos and commercials and things like that. And I was teaching people about how to be on the radio. But of course, about 4 or 5 years ago, all of a sudden the podcast, which had just been a hobby, all of a sudden broke loose and became a major industry. And now, of course, the thing that they're saying really changed some things was that, in effect, the major podcaster now, is the Joe Rogan guy. Again, who I've mentioned, I've been familiar with him for some time because he and I actually started doing it about the same time. He's a little bit ahead of me. He just kept doing it and for a long time, and he hit the big time. But pointed out that both J.D. Vance and, in effect, Trump both went on his program. And, got this. And together there were 90 million downloads. And what we're now discovering is that there has been so many people who have lost faith in the modern media. Obviously, many times it's because they have such a strong political or other bias, and so they don't trust the trust rate of the people in the modern media, either on both sides of the political arena. And it's crazy that, in effect, we divide people politically. That's the big mistake. Don't divide people politically. Most of us are not politically active or involved. It's not a big deal to us. We've got other things we care about, and other things we have to care about. But in effect, it's something I just want to point out is that, in effect, because of that, what is called the alternative media, which is just a little bit of what you're involved in right now, is where the action is. That's where people are going to go. And I was told somebody, this is just a friend telling me that that Trump's son, the young guy who is now big, that he and a good friend were involved in producing podcasts that had a incredible reach among young men and women his age. And that's the point I would simply like to leave with you and I right now. I do know that, as I oftentimes say, talking and listening is much more powerful and much more effective than typing or texting. I really don't want to read your stuff. We want human connection. We want to be heard, and we want to be able to speak, and we want people to actually be very present to us. As I say, everybody's wearing a sign and it says, "Please tell me I'm important. Don't ghost me or text me off." So that's part of why I'm in the world work of doing what I'm doing, which is to say, everybody has a story. Everybody has wisdom, insight, and truth that is just as important, probably more important than the people on the major media. Let me tell you, what drives a lot of us crazy is those of us who know something about some of the people who are the big shot people on the media. And as one of my friends said, most of them are not very nice. And a lot of them are really stupid, but they put on a good show. And so they have $1 million salaries, and they have oftentimes millions of people who listen to them or think with them, and they are not in any way exceptional. In fact, they don't even qualify as moderately kind, gracious, or intelligent. Yeah. Believe yourself. You have good things to share. Many of you have stories and wisdom and insight that is helpful. You might not make a lot of money on it, but it might be something good. Also remember that if you do want to make some money, if you have a business, and by the way, everybody has one. You got that? Do you go to work? All right. That's your business. And first of all, you have to understand that your business is to think about you as a business. You don't work for somebody, you work with somebody right now. But think of yourself as an independent entrepreneur, and you do the work that will help you make a living by giving services and good stuff and products and things people want that people will pay you for. That's the deal. That's what you want. And so one of the ways to be good at that is to learn a little bit right now. What would it take for you to understand how important it is to know a little bit about the podcasting? As I say, everybody should give it a try. And whether you give it a try and continue, you'll be, again, in the minority. But the point is, what will happen is you will begin to understand the media. You'll begin to understand how this stuff works. And when you do, you'll be much smarter. You'll be better equipped. You'll be more powerful, confident, and purposeful to make it in whatever line of work, business, and service you are in. And that's what I want to help you do. There we go. 15 minutes, I'm done. This was the podcast election, and this is now the Growing and Going podcast economy. If you want to reach an audience, if you want to bring your message to life, if you want to have a little touch of immortality, these messages that I do are going to be here a long, long time. After I am dead and gone for many years, people will still find Stan the Radio Man, and they can learn, listen, like, or dislike him long after I'm no longer on the radio. As we say, when you are in the world of silent microphones, yep, they've turned the red light off and you're not on anymore, which, by the way, happens to us all. So don't be afraid. Best and blessings. I hope to hear from you. StanHusted@gmail.com. StanHusted@gmail.com. Your business, your organization, your church or ministry. I have experience in all those areas, and I can be helpful to you. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. I'd love for you to talk back. Till next time, bye for now.